So finally getting around to recording a reaction video to making my year-end goal. Still pretty stunned. I did not expect it. I knew I would make it. I'd say the last 2, 3 weeks when I really saw I was in a groove, but I was losing about a pound a week. As is evidence, I think one week I lost 2 pounds, but I was losing like 1, 2 pounds a week. I really started to hone in on the day before Thanksgiving. So it really came as a surprise. It's still like, it just came so unexpectedly that I don't think I enjoyed it as much as I would have had it gone according to plan, had I kept losing a pound a week. And I was really zeroing in on weighing in the day before Thanksgiving. I think I would have enjoyed it more then because it would have built, and it totally caught me off guard to make it this week. So that may sound strange, but that's honestly how I feel. I kept thinking, Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving. I was like, I'm gonna ramp up and start fasting 3 days a week. I'm gonna increase my cardio. I'm gonna add an extra lifting session. Like, this was building towards that day. And I thought I'd come in at 253 this week, 252 this Friday, 251 next week Friday, and I'd cross that finish line. That's how I had it mapped out in my head. So to lose 5 pounds in a week for the second time in like 4 or 5 weeks was pretty stunning. Especially what's weird is, and you've heard me say this if you've been following my channel, certain times I feel like I haven't done anything different than I've done previously. I fasted twice last week before my weigh-in, between weigh-ins. I did do a 10-mile run, but does that really make that much of a difference versus doing a 5-mile run? So it's weird when I have those weeks where it just seems like out of the blue almost that my body just decides to drop a ton of weight. So it was very unexpected more than anything because I've been running 30 miles a week this was the fifth, maybe sixth week in a row. And this was the fourth week where, I did my entire lifting routine, but I didn't do anything out of the blue. So it was really unexpected to see that much of a drop. In terms of my initial reaction, don't feel happy. I don't feel sad in any way. The way I describe it is I feel surprised and I feel very encouraged and I feel very empowered. I feel very strongly that I'm going to get to the finish line let me not say, I feel very good about where I am in terms of the momentum I've got. I still feel like the reason I don't feel happy is because 250 pounds was never the end goal, like ever. That was my year-end goal. I was trying to set realistic but challenging goals. I wanted to lose 50 pounds this year. I wanted to get under 250. And then I had the mindset that I'd get down to 225 by my marathon next year. So that was kind of the plotted path. And I've said that several times, like this shouldn't be coming out of the blue for the handful of people that have been following my channel. So it's never been the end goal. I'm still fairly flabby. My body fat's still over 30%. So it's not like I'm like, okay, I've reached my ultimate goal. But I cannot understate how encouraged I feel, how empowered I feel. One thing I will say is I'm extremely proud of the effort that I've put in. I mean, I've really been 100% invested in this goal. Like, I've left no stone unturned. I have been willing to go to very high extremes to achieve this. I've been very, very consistent through injuries, through mistakes, through setbacks. I have remained very, very focused on this goal all year. And this is coming off of a year where I set the exact same goal last year. I wanted to lose 50 to 60 pounds. And I got down to 38 pounds off, and then I ballooned all the way back up. And I finished with a net loss for 2019 of 13 pounds despite all that effort. So to be in this position after coming off of a major disappointment like that, I'm very, very proud of what I've done this year. And when thinking about this video, I said to myself, what is something I want to say that I want to remember about this moment? And as odd as it may sound, the one thing I wanted to say is that I did not think I was going to do this. I had so much doubt about myself because I've been through this. The reaction you saw on my video in terms of 18 years was 100% genuine. I have been trying to get under 250 pounds since I went over. Like, I never wanted to go over 250 pounds. It was basically just a loss of discipline. I was a fat kid, and then I started playing basketball when I was like 13, 14. And I remember when I was in eighth grade, I was 6'3", I was 235, 240 pounds. And I started playing basketball. And then people started telling me I was losing weight, but I didn't have a scale back then. I didn't weigh myself regularly. And I remember I went into a doctor's visit and I was like 220. And then all of a sudden, like I was all of a sudden like 205, 210 all throughout high school. I was a stick figure. But I ate like crap. I ate whatever I wanted. There was no thought of nutritional value, calories, nutrients, macros, nothing. I just, whatever I wanted to eat, I ate. But I played basketball 6, 7 days a week. I mean, I couldn't play enough, so I couldn't keep any weight on me. And when I was in the best shape of my life in 1996, when I was like under 8% body fat, and that was tested by a trainer when I was at junior college. I was at a Division I junior college, Genesee Community College in upstate New York. I remember I got there, I was 215 pounds, and I was 13% body fat. And in about 3 months, I think it was like November, right at the start of the season, I was 225 pounds, and I was like 7.6, 7.8% body fat. And that's just working with a trainer. I had a weight routine. I lifted 5 days a week. I'd work out in the morning in terms of my basketball. Then we had practice. I got into the best shape of my life. I don't think I'll ever see 7% body fat again. But even then, I ate like shit. I was on a meal plan. I go to lunch, have fucking burgers and fries all the time, pizza. I just ate whatever I wanted. It's just I worked out probably a good 6 hours a day. And I couldn't keep any weight on, and being 19, 20 with a fast metabolism, I just shed weight. I don't think I'll see that kind of body fat again. I hope to get somewhere into the teens, but not hope. I will get to somewhere in the teens next year. But this is probably, no, not even probably, without a doubt, this is the best my diet has ever been in my life. I think it was a real game changer for me to subscribe to that meal plan. All of my meals are just whole foods. They're not doused in sauces. They're not doused in sodium. Very lean meats, vegetables. None of these meals are ever more than 500 calories, and I would have never thought a year ago I could sustain myself eating lunch and dinner on 500 calories. I intermittent fast. That's like absolutely nothing to me now. I never eat before noon. I've reduced the amount of calories I intake. I haven't been counting calories since I read the obesity code, and just understanding that all calories are not the same and counting calories is kind of foolish. I really eat whole, pure foods, lean meats, vegetables. I still have room to improve my diet, and I'm really starting to attack those things as well. But my diet is the best it's ever been, hands down. I cannot believe now it's going to be 3 months in another week or two that I've been fasting 2 days a week. Last week I fasted 3 days. I fasted Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. This week I'm going to do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, where I do a 24-hour fast. Like, I have really invested in this process 110%. And while I say I'm not happy, I am very, very encouraged, and I feel oh so empowered because of the things I'm doing with my diet, because of the consistent effort. I would have never thought a year ago that I'd be where I am now. And back in January and February, I set these goals. And I just had to believe even against myself at this point. I mean, all of the failures, all of the years I've gone trying to do this over and over and over again, and I can't put into words how many times I've tried to do this and failed, including last year, including 2013. And I think it's very important for me to get my diet under control because I mean, I keep saying to myself over and over, right now I'm 44. I don't want to be 50 years old and 350, 360 pounds talking about, damn, I remember back in 2020, when I really got dialed in and I got to find that determination again. And I don't want to be talking about 2020 over and over the way this whole year on this channel I've talked about 2012 into 2013. Like, I don't want to be in that situation again. Only time will tell what's going to happen, but I think the key to longevity is my diet, the fasting, the eating whole foods, the staying away from processed carbs, the keeping my sugar intake down to keep my insulin levels in check. Really learning to eat when I'm hungry and not just because it's a habit or because I'm having a craving. I think there are a lot of things that I've learned this year. My learning is just beginning. I'm far from done, but I think I've made a significant amount of progress. And my determination has not waned one bit with achieving that goal. On Friday, I took my wife out to dinner at one of my favorite restaurants. Definitely had a big meal. Had a chicken fried steak with a donut and macaroni and cheese and fries and soda. Like, I pigged out. We just had a nice date. It was 75. We ate outdoors in downtown DC. But then again, Saturday morning, I'm up, 9:30, I'm on a treadmill, ran for 2 hours, got in 10 miles, fasted until 6:30. I made up the lifting session, the optional lifting session from Friday on Saturday while I was fasted. Like, my determination is at a point where I don't think it's ever been before. Yesterday, diet was flawless, fasted today. I didn't lift yesterday because I felt just totally spent, but I refused to miss a lifting session. So I did my legs and shoulders just now. I'm going to get up tomorrow morning, run 5 miles in zone 2. I'm going to do chest and back tomorrow. I'm going to stay on my diet. And then, a big thing with me, I'm moving up. I've been saying all year, I've been kicking around the idea of going to a plant-based diet. I spoke to my brother yesterday morning, had a pretty big talk, a pretty long chat with him, maybe about 45 minutes or so. I have decided to move to a plant-based diet, so I changed my meal plan from keto, which I've only been on for about 3 weeks. I haven't liked the keto plan. I mean, it's very high in fat, very ultra low carb, although they still have a fair amount of vegetables because vegetables just have no calories. I mean, if you have one of these little trays that they send the meals in and half of it is asparagus, I mean, it may be 25, 30 calories. Like, vegetables just have no calories. Processed carbs have a ton of calories and a ton of sodium. But I still had a high macro. I mean, I've still had a very nutrient dense set of carbs, but I've moved to the vegan plan. I'm not going full vegan. I'm not going full vegetarian. I'm just trying to reduce the amount of meat that I intake. But I mean, I've basically gone with the premise of if I can go with no food 3 days a week, I can survive off of a vegan diet. So my meal plan for lunch and dinner is just going to be pure vegan. I still will eat eggs. I still will eat dairy. And for my cheat meals, if I want to have a steak, if I want to have a burger, that's fine. But I'm going to reduce my meat intake from basically daily to once or twice a week. And who knows, I may get super gung-ho about it. And maybe I will go full vegan. But right now, I'm just starting with my lunch and dinner. I don't eat breakfast, is going to be vegan. So, I still have a very strong desire to continue to look to improve. I still have a very strong desire to get my weight under 220. I don't know what the end goal is, as I've said for the last few months. My goals are to get my BMI under 25 and to get my body fat under 20%. Those are pretty much my compass. But I don't have a specific number because I don't know at what point my body fat will get under 20%. I will say back from my experience in 2013, I was still about 24, 25% body fat when I was 250. So I knew for a fact that 250 was not going to be the end number. But I thought I'd be 25, 26%. I don't know if it's the aging. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's that I've done so much cardio this time, whereas back then it was pretty much I'd work out 5 days a week where I'd lift for 45 minutes, I'd run for 20 minutes, but I played basketball, which is pretty much high intensity training. It's not steady state cardio. It's a lot of quick bursts, high ramp up, high ramp down in terms of it much more uses your anaerobic system. So I think the combination of that and being 7 years younger, my body fat was lower. I don't know, I can't say specifically, but I was a lot leaner when I was this weight. My body fat's about 5% higher around the same weight. But I knew then that I wasn't at my end goal. So I don't know if just doing the math right now, taking 10% of my body fat, which is 25 pounds, if everything I lost was body fat, that would take me to 225. I know that's not going to be the case. So I don't know what it is. And I'm right now, I'm guessing it's going to be someplace between 200 and 215, but I don't know. Maybe I'll start putting on more muscle. I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but I know 225 won't be the end point. If it is, great. If I'm 19% body fat and at 225, then that'll kind of be the point where, I stop trying to lose weight and focus more on maintenance. I'm still planning to do marathons. I want to do an Ironman in 2022. So, my cardio is going to remain pretty astronomical for the foreseeable future. I think one of the things that has really helped is I recognize that the only time in my life where I've been particularly lean and fit was because of basketball. So I'm really trying to tie this to sports. A big part of the reason I've been running so feverishly is I'm focused on running a sub 4 hour marathon next year. So I recognize that's going to take a significant amount of training. That's going to take me getting my weight, my overall weight down, because trying to carry body fat 26.2 miles, it doesn't help me at all. So I think tying it to sport has really helped a lot. Even through this, I was very worried when all my races got canceled that I'd lose motivation, but I've stayed focused on next year. I've stayed focused on this sub 4 hour marathon. So, I feel great about where I am. I'm hopeful that today Pfizer announced that they announced the results of their vaccine trial. I watched the CEO say they expect to have 50 million doses available by the end of this year and 1.3 billion doses by the end of next year. So I'm very hopeful that the Pittsburgh Marathon goes off May 2nd. That's kind of the next race I'm keying in on. If by some miracle, the Rock and Roll DC Marathon happens next year, great, but that's supposed to be the last Saturday in March. And I think, that may be pushing, and I've seen a lot of races get pushed back already. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but very hopeful that the Pittsburgh Marathon happens. And I'm also signed up for a half marathon in late May as well. So, I'm still focused on those. Those are keeping me honest in terms of my running and trying to get my zone 2 pace up to, I'm hoping to get to a 10-minute mile by the end of the year. In terms of zone 2 running, who knows? It's all guesswork, but I'm setting these goals. I'm tying it to sport. I'm giving myself something to focus on. Something I saw in this movie that was on this, I should say more of a documentary that was on YouTube called Iron Mind by, I can't remember the guy's name, but he has a show called London Real. He got challenged to do a half Ironman on a vegan diet. And the guy that challenged him said, I'm always signed up for another race because I always keep the next goal in front of me. That's kind of something I've implemented. I'm always going to be signed up for a race. If I'm not signed up for a race, or I'm at least have my mindset on one, I'm nervous about losing my desire to train. So, that's something I'm going to incorporate. But, I feel very encouraged about where I am. I feel very proud of what I've done, and I'm really excited about next year. I think I'm going to do some dynamite things, and I feel very encouraged. I'm not going to say I'm 100% certain I'm going to get to under 220, but I feel great about where I am right now.